This is a tutorial on showing you how to install the Diigo toolbar in Firefox and then get started using some of the features that it provides. So the first thing you need to do is use Firefox. This will not work in Safari. There are less feature-rich toolbars that you can add to Safari, but I really recommend that you stick with Firefox. So once you get to Firefox, you're going to navigate to www.diigo.com. Note that it has two I's. Once you reach Diigo, you need to sign in. You already have an account that I created for you, and your account starts YS, and then it is your user number, your regular network user number. So I'm impersonating one of you right now. So let me go ahead and enter those credentials. And then your regular network password. So go ahead and enter that information and then sign in. But don't forget that the username has to be preceded by the letters YS, lowercase. Sign in, and now I am signed in as Brittany. And the first thing you want to do is install the toolbar. You can do this right here. They actually give you the option right on this page, but if you don't get to this screen for whatever reason, up here in the top you can notice that there is the option to get to the tool options. So we're going to click there, and this is the one we're looking for. We're looking for the Diigo toolbar for best for power users, available in IE and Firefox. And since we're on Macs, we're on Firefox, so we're going to go to Diigo toolbar right there, and then install the Diigo toolbar. And from here it's really easy. They tell you what to do. They say click allow, so I click allow, and then I'll get a 3, 2, 1, install now, and then it says you need to restart to see that toolbar. So I restart Firefox. And now notice that I've got this toolbar across the top that allows me to do all sorts of fabulous things with Diigo. So that's the down low on creating your not creating your account, but getting signed in and getting the toolbar installed. And now I'd like to show you how this works. So let's imagine that I am doing a search on John Steinbeck. Oops, sorry. And as I'm looking for John Steinbeck, I do a regular search, and I'm going to come up with, first of all, some .org sites. .orgs can be good. We'll talk about that in class, but really anyone with a credit card can purchase a .org domain. So it's better than .com in many cases, but there's no guarantee of validity. There's no guarantee that there won't be bias. So as we go through these various sites, I say, well, I kind of want more scholarly results. So I'm going to go up here to the gear in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to click there, and I'm going to go to Advanced Search. And when I get to Advanced Search, I have the option to search within a site or domain. And in this case, I want to search within the .edu domain. I go on to Advanced Search again, and now you'll notice that I'm getting all sorts of articles about John Steinbeck from various universities, Georgetown, Stanford, etc. And Drexel. I have a much better bet of finding a good article about John Steinbeck through the .edu search. So I'm actually going to go to this one here, and I'm going to say, well, Perspectives in American Literature. I know this to be a reputable site, and I want to bookmark this. I want to be able to get back to this later. Now, in the past, what I would ask you to do, or what many teachers would ask students to do, is simply highlight this web address and paste it somewhere. Put it in a Word doc or otherwise keep track of it. Bookmark it locally on the machine by going up here to the bookmarks. The problem with bookmarking locally is that if I'm not on this machine the next time I'm doing my work, I have no access to that bookmark. That's where Diigo really becomes magical, because what Diigo allows you to do is bookmark on the web, and all you have to do is click on this bookmark in the toolbar. It automatically pulls in the title. You can add a description. I want to show you a trick. If there's something on the site that sort of explains what this thing is, and I'm going to say that's descriptive, I'm going to highlight that first and then click bookmark, and notice that Diigo automatically drops that into the description. So this is really useful if you're doing research, because if you find that special something at the site that you're like, ooh, that's data that I want to hang on to, highlight the data first and then click bookmark, and Diigo will drop that into the description. Then when you come back to the bookmark, you'll see that description and remember what it was that was so special in the first place. Now the next thing that you'll notice about Diigo is that you can tag. There's this option called tags. Tags are ways that you will be able to sort your bookmarks when you go back to Diigo later. So I'm going to tag this one as Steinbeck, space, I'm sorry, let me get rid of that capital T. I'm also put a space between. If you have multiple words, you put them in quotation marks. So I'm going to say quotation research paper, end quotation, maybe just research, and English, because, you know, after all, this is English class. So I give it a whole bunch of tags. Diigo does recommend tags, but I find that they're not all that useful. And then finally I have this more options. If I drop that down, we're not going to spend time on this right now, but note that you can create lists, you can share to a group, and to tell you, oh, actually, I lied. I do want to do this right now. If you click on share to a group, I did already enroll you in a group called Tap English 3CP. I do want you to add your bookmarks to that location. Basically what you're doing is saying to the rest of your classmates and me, hey, look at this thing I bookmarked. And it allows us not only to work collaboratively and to reap other people's bookmarks, but it also allows me to see what kind of work you're doing for this project, etc. So I am going to bookmark this one for I'm going to share it to the group Tap English 3CP. I could add a comment if I wanted. I don't have to. So then I'm going to click Save. And now that bookmark is in my library. To get to your library in Diigo, you go up here to where it says Diigo, and you drop down to My Library. And when I get to my library, I will see that now I have this one bookmark sorted by these tags. But the beautiful thing is that as you continue to get more and more in your Diigo account, you can sort by list. Now I'm going to sign out as Brittany, and I'm actually going to sign myself in because I want to show you how this looks after you start to gather tons and tons of bookmarks. So Ali Tap. And now I am signed in as me. Okay, note that I have a ton of tags over here. I have 682 tags. That means that for all the times that I've bookmarked things, I've decided on 682 different ways to tag things. If I click on edit here, I just want to take you into my tag list so you can see. This is my tag list, and you'll note that, I mean, some of these are really, really specific, like BYOD for Bring Your Own Device, which was, of course, the initiative that we're working on here at York Suburban. But I've got some that I've only ever used one, like back. I probably made a mistake when I tag something back. I probably meant to do back up and accidentally hit enter on back, because I can't imagine anything that I would tag back. Anyway, if I go through, I can see all of these different tags. Tags are free, and that's a really important thing to note, because go ahead and tag the heck out of everything, because it allows you to go find it later. I've tagged things with people's names. I've tagged things with very specific words that are very relevant only to that one thing, but it helps me later when I'm trying to find those bookmarks to get back to them. So it's really useful. The other thing that I have that you may eventually want to do is put together lists, and this is useful. For example, if I open up the Mark Twain list, as I find resources related to Mark Twain and Huck Finn, I just throw them on that list. Then I can publish that list for all of you so that you can see what bookmarks I have. And by publishing that bookmark list, the people who end up looking at it don't have to have Diigo accounts to see it. So lists can be useful too. I'm going to go back out to my library, and I'm going to just do one more thing, and that is I want to show you how you can search in Diigo. Now I'm going to come up here to my search tab, and I am going to type Steinbeck. And you'll note that right away I'm searching my library, and I have no items tagged for Steinbeck. I note that I'm signed in now as me, not as Brittany anymore. But if I go to the community library is everyone who has an account at Diigo. And as long as they haven't marked their bookmarks private, and you do have the option to mark your bookmarks private, but they're by default public. And if I click on the community library, now I get all the bookmarks in all of the world. People who said, oh, tag that Steinbeck, tag that Steinbeck. 81 people tagged this website as Steinbeck. That might be a great source, because what you're doing is you're drawing on the wisdom of the crowd. If a lot of other people thought something was bookmark worthy, it probably was. So if I click on this, I can go see what this thing was. And it loads it loads a web view at the start. So there you can see this is what this thing is. Now, I don't know what it's for. It might be very specific to a group that included 81 people. Who knows? But it's a really neat way to search, and it's a great way to find fabulous resources for your research paper. So you want to make sure that you're searching in the community library as well, because that is, like I said, it's super useful. Okay, so there's more. There's a lot more. As we go through the year, we'll talk about using highlighters and attaching sticky notes, doing collaborative web annotations on articles on the web because you're logged in as a Diigo user. Diigo is super, super useful. I think the initial reaction when people start to use it, I always hear from other teachers who start to use it, they say initially it feels overwhelming. Initially they're not sure that they can make sense of all of the options. But if they continue to use it, I eventually start to hear people say, where would I be without Diigo? Because I guarantee you, I can find things in my library so very fast with Diigo because I've bookmarked them here. I have over 1,000 items, over 1,000 bookmarks. But I could find what I'm looking for in a second because of tagging and because of lists and because Diigo's just rock star good. So anyway, that's it, and I hope you guys find it useful through the research project and onward through life, really.